where's my, here we go.
All right. Did your Git mystery get resolved?
Partially, like, I mean, you were on point with what you sent to me. Thank you very much. I will actually talk about that very thing in another meeting that we should have that is not this recorded meeting, but another one.
Okay.
There's nothing bad about it yet. It's like, yes, I know how to do, I can now get the thing working the way I want it to for business purposes, for like getting stuff done purposes, no problem. There are some mysteries that I do not have solved in my head yet, and they're bothering me because I need to be able to ingest like remote feature branches from other contributors, because there are all these docs pull requests that come in, and they're not well formatted, and sometimes they're like months old, sometimes they're like 3 or 4 days old. It's clear sometimes like somebody raised a bug, like they have a good idea. They have a legitimate like contribution to make to the documentation, and the idea is good. It's just like they didn't have the signed off line there, or they don't have like doc/ceph-adm or doc/rados or whatever in the title. And so what I want to do in those cases is get good enough at doing this thing that I envision so that I can just fetch their changes, put them into a PR that I make that is formally correct so that it can be approved quickly, and then include them at I'll be the signed off line, but I'll include them as a co-author, but I will make certain to say like this pull request refers to this other pull request, which I am now closing. The person who who made this suggestion should get the credit for this suggestion. I don't know like what. I don't want to take anybody's credit if they're like in some organization that demands a certain number of pull requests per period of time or something like that. But as I get more familiar with things, I see like writing grammatically correct sentences is not like that comes for free for me. I do that with no problem. I'm very good at looking at things and reducing ambiguity, and I have a lot of practice doing this in tech writing. But so that's a low cost thing that's just I happen to have already for myself. The high cost thing for me is using this workflow to ingest ill-formed but good idea pull requests. So if I did 5 yesterday, and if I can continue getting better at it, then it will make the pace of improving documentation significantly faster. It's like it's not the only thing that I'm working on by any means, but it's an area where like if I can become as good at it as David Galloway or you, then it would be it's the sort of
I think I know what you want to do, and I think I can help you with that. It's not a big deal. It's a particular Git command that you need to run, and so that what that does essentially is that it'll let you pull a particular pull request locally, so you can check out a particular pull request locally, make any edits to it like you want. Like let us say you just want to amend their signed off by, or like add a signed off by, or do something to it. And then you can push it to your origin. I like to use the words upstream and origin. Origin is like my repo, and upstream is like the Ceph repo.
Like,
so you can just check that out.
Yep. And since we talked, or since I sent you the email, I have been steeped, I have been like cramming for a final in Git. So I'm with you on origin and upstream. This is exactly like the workflow that you're describing right now is precisely the workflow that I want to get, where we fetch the remote and then we so.
I added a comment in the Blue Jeans chat. That is exactly what you need.
Get fetch upstream pull ID head branch name. Okay, let me write that down.
you just need to you need to make sure you have upstream as a remote. Your Git remote dash we should
Yep.
show you the Ceph remote.
Sure.
Keep pull as it is.
Yep.
Instead of ID, replace the ID with the number of the pull request. If it is, let us say, 25,000, just instead of ID, just use 25,000. And if you look at any PR, you should be able to see a branch name on the top of the PR. So you just replace ID and branch name. So that locally fetches.
I get it. I have everything in my head to understand exactly what this is. This is like, if I can get this to work, this is great. This is exactly what I'm looking for.
This is all you need.
And then the other thing you might remember, and this is totally on me, but this is how we learn. Like, it's embarrassing, but I want to disclose it now. I mean, I've already said it. I polluted my origin branch. I polluted Z-Dover 23 Ceph because when we were looking at different ways.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even if you pollute your origin master, it doesn't matter. As long as you're always checking out a particular branch which is based on upstream master. So even if you
No, I get it. I understand that this points to upstream master, so it's clean, so it can be cleanly ingested, and I get that. I understand that like my polluted origin doesn't come into this fetch upstream pull ID head branch name mod. I do. Please understand that I do get that. Separately, I polluted my origin, and Sebastian has helped me on 2 occasions to like Frankensteinianly make it rise from the dead. But then I do these stupid merges, and I'm not quite sure. Like, I know that I'm doing something stupid, but I don't know what the stupid thing is yet. And I am in the middle of learning enough about reflog that I can figure out exactly what it was I did. And so it's this torturous thing where I can't quite articulate it. I do know a procedure to get myself back into an okay state, and that's good. And I can do that. But damn it, I want to know what is it that I'm doing?
Just when I looked at your stuff, I think the only problem that I see with your stuff is that you're using origin and upstream. You're mixing both things up. To be very honest, I never rely on my origin. I always create branches from upstream master and rebase on that. Origin is just when you push a particular PR. So you just push it to your remote instead of upstream.
I didn't even realize that you could do it that way, even though that's exactly what you're talking about with this.
The steps I sent you yesterday.
Oh my God. Yeah, I get it now. Now that you said it, I get it. I didn't get it when I read the email, but I get it now. Oh man. Okay, I'm sorry. I know that this meeting's probably being recorded. So what we have here is an anthropological field recording of someone learning how to use Get. Because when I used Get, a few years ago, we used it for 5 different things, and they were all sort of on Rails, and that was it. So we would rebase, but it was in this very strict context. So this, okay, thank you. I might. So that's actually one of the issues. That's number 5 on the. Okay, so I'll run through this stuff real quick. The doc site still need to be consolidated into one single doc site. The read the doc site does have working search. It's that weird read the docs search that sort of blanks the screen when you search for it, but it works, and it has.
What are we blocked on there again? Remind me. I know we had this discussion a month ago or something, right?
Yeah. It's there's API docs that are not properly provided through the read the docs site, I think. So there has to be some workaround that. I don't think Kefa was committed to doing it or anything, but I think he understood it.
No, I think we discussed. Yeah, I think I tried to explain this problem to David Galloway, and I'm not sure whether he understood it or not, or maybe we want to go into further detail with him. But I think he's the guy who can help us with finally
Okay.
changing or redirecting. So maybe you should try to sync up with him and again
I
ask him
I
if he
I will.
understands what you want to do.
I will. I'll see if I can have a meeting with him sometime before our next docs catch up. So I'll let you know where things are. I do speak to David
Sure.
pretty much
Mhm.
every other day now. So I like him. He's good. Uh, let's see. And then still working on the Ceph ADM guide, which I hope to have. I hope to have a good draft available by July 1st that covers all the stuff that the crisp Ceph deploy guide covered, and that'll be super useful once we have it. There's already a lot of stuff in the Ceph ADM documentation for that covers installing or converting stuff to Ceph, and a lot like that is kind of the degenerate descendant of the crisp Ceph deploy guide from November. So now it's like I've got to do surgery on that and get it back into a working state. So I have another thing. I've got Zafman's comments on that gigantic man page from a couple of months ago, which is just, it's like the next big thing on my plate after I get the load balancer PR off to the load balancer guys, which apparently, maybe wasn't the greatest. Like Mike told me, hey, just move this into RST. So I did, and he was like, oh no, I didn't mean to like move it into RST. But it was a useful exercise for me. I don't know if going forward we'll want to host this installation guide on the site or not. But I'm going to make the PR sometime today or tomorrow. There's a lot of places in that document where it says like turn to page 24 for this, and so there have to be references and anchor points put in there. And I did all of those the other day, and now I have fresh eyes, so I can look at it and make certain that that it looks right to somebody who's looking at it for the first time. Because it's just a lot of sitting there for hours and hours, and then your brain doesn't look at it with fresh eyes. You have no idea how it looks. A lot of bug updates. The whole idea behind I'm getting better at doing these bug updates, and with your model where you pull directly from upstream and then push to origin, completely going around my polluted origin branch. If that works and I have a good model in my head of how it all works, that's
You
gonna
can
like that. Go ahead. Sorry.
you can possibly script it as well for future purposes. You don't need to like remember the commands every time. And once you know it, just script it, and you'll
Oh
just
yeah,
need a pull request ID and the branch name.
I have that is my favorite thing. This is embarrassing. I'm gonna smile like a child. My favorite thing about working with Linux is writing shell scripts. It is the most fun thing. I used to write shell scripts that pulled Bugzilla reports using the Bugzilla command line, and then I would use sed and awk to format them just so. And it was the most fun thing that I did, and I know how lame it is to find that fun, but I don't care. It was great. So yeah, I will definitely, like, this will all be reduced. The number one thing that somebody in my position, in my opinion, now that I have a sense of this, should be like the number one skill that I do not currently have that I should have, that someone in this position should have, is this ability to ingest stuff from the community as quickly as good ideas are generated. And this will help with that. Like this won't just help with that. This will be that. This will be the technical implementation of that very thing. So that's good, and I feel really good about that. And I thank you so much for responding to me immediately, and then for going over this with me today so that I could have this eureka moment. And also, I worked with David Galloway yesterday, who was helpful, and Sebastian was also very helpful. And I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. This is the best writing job I've ever had, and everybody is so helpful. And so thank you.
Glad to hear it.
And what's that? Sorry.
I said glad to hear it.
Oh, yeah. And then I went to the Ceph IO meeting, which I'll tell you about in another meeting because, and so that's it. That's it for me right now.
Okay.
I mean, this is we're not pulling in people from the community to these DocuBetter meetings, so maybe I'll write to Anthony Diatri or somebody and see if they want to come to this, if they have like suggestions for docs. I know that Mike Roos wrote me something in an email that was like, it was stuff that we were already across. That's like already on the menu, on the roadmap for stuff in the future. So
okay, cool.
So that's that. That's that. And can I talk to you in a non-recorded meeting?
Yeah, sure. We can sync up in a different meeting. If we are done with this, I don't have anything else apart from what you said. I just see a couple of new items in the report documentation bug thing.
Okay.
The Etherpad, which is, I mean, the latest stuff is in English, so I just went through it and maybe relevant for Octopus. So maybe you want to take a look at the last two items there.
All right. All right.
It's talking about the supported versions and some iSCSI stuff.
Okay. I'm opening it right now. I need to put this on my rotation of stuff to look at. Oh, this is okay. That stuff is in Chinese.
But just the last two items.
Oh, 19 and 20. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. Should be. Okay, cool. Yeah, those with any luck, I can actually knock those out before I go to sleep the next time because those are perfectly clear. Like those seem to have everything I need. Did you write those?
Nope. I don't know. I mean, these are community people or somebody reporting these. So people are still using it. I might want to find somebody who can convert this back to English for us, but whatever is in English makes sense to me. Okay, I think that's all I got. So we can sync up in a different private meeting if you want after this.
Cool. Okay. Do you want to send me a link?
I will. Yeah, I will.
Okay. All right. I'll see you there in just a minute. And it'll be very brief. It won't be long.
Sounds good. All right.
All right.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.